we have Beating San Diego on the 28th. You need to sign up by March 14th, and that link is also in the newsletter. And then just a little bit looking forward, exec applications are opening on March 24th. And that meeting day, we will be talking about all exec positions. If anyone is interested in applying, we'll talk about what you're responsible for in every position. You get to talk, hear from everyone on our current board about their position. And then the application will be due after spring break on the 7th. And then an update for those who ordered merch, it's arriving next week on Monday. We'll have it at the following meeting on the 24th. If you won't be at that meeting, please reach out to us if so we can coordinate a pickup time.
Okay. First of all, virtual grad panel was a huge success. Good job, all of you who participated and showed up. That was huge. Very good. Also, everybody who asked questions, those were amazing questions. I really appreciate you guys bringing those to the meeting. That was great. I also really loved every single one of you. I think there was one person that didn't do this, but every single one of you introduced yourself and then asked the question. That is huge. Like, that just showed so much professionalism. It just showed so much like that you cared and you wanted to show your face there. So that was a big deal. Thank you guys. Please do it again for in-person grad panel. So, that being said, in-person grad panel, woohoo! Okay, so it is March 20th, so not this Thursday, but next Thursday. It's going to be at 4 p.m. We are starting right at 4 p.m. I will be talking right at 4 p.m., so make sure to be on time, check in early. We'll probably still be setting up things if you're there early, but please just come in, check in, and sit down. Also, yeah, don't be late. I understand that people have a lot of conflicts on this day. I totally get it. I have an exam that I had to reschedule. Like, I totally get it. If you do have to duck out, please sit in the back. Do not come sit in the front and be awkward while you leave. Nobody wants that. If you do have to leave or come in late, just try and sneak in and try and be in the back. I think I'll have one of us be at the door for people who are coming in late and just kind of like sneak you in like stealthily. So yeah, perfect. So location is at Scripps Cottage. For those of you who don't know, I put some pictures up there. It's right next to the turtle pond. It's right behind it. You can't miss it. It's gonna be a great venue. I'm really excited. I mean, look how pretty that is. It's awesome. So attire, what to bring, again, business casual. I'm gonna be pretty firm on this, no jeans, no shoulders showing, have everything covered, all that good stuff. If you do have concerns about affording or having business casual clothes, please text me and we can work something out, okay? These are some examples of what you need to wear. Yeah, girls, I know we have a lot of options, so yeah, pencil skirts or dresses are fine, just make sure they're appropriate. And then fourth thing, we ran into a lot of little bumps with this. A lot of you guys texted me that you didn't get the link or you didn't, RSVP, something like that. Make sure to RSVP before this Wednesday. I am going to be closing the RSVP this Wednesday. I need your emails to send you information before grad panel, and also we will be checking you in. So if you're not on the list, I'm sorry, we'll probably have to tell you to leave. So just make sure to RSVP by Wednesday, and then I will be sending you emails with kind of this information on this Thursday. So cool. If you have any questions, don't feel free to reach out. You can text me, whatever. Perfect.
Alright, just real quick, I want to talk about the MS walk. So last semester we did the breast cancer walk. This will be somewhat similar, but a little more fun. We're just going to be like at the finish line cheering people on as they are crossing it. Yeah, so about a month, that's a Saturday. So no classes, should be conflicting. And there's like a limited number of spots that I have reserved, but I can like extend that if it gets full. So just send me a message if so. And sign up links in the newsletter, so yeah, it's gonna be a fun one.
Any questions on anything? No? Okay, so today we're gonna be presenting about PTCAS.
and what is PTCAS, important info, parts of the application, and then SUSU is not a part of PTCAS, which is super unfortunate because probably everyone's applying there, so we'll help you with that too, and then some final tips. Yeah, alright.
Cool. So first, what is PTCAS? PTCAS is the centralized application for basically every single PT school other than SDSU. Yeah, it's written on here. PTCAS makes it easy to apply to several programs without like redoing your work. Kind of applies all your information to multiple schools.
Okay, so some important info is, it's not updated right now, but it's $170 for the first program, and it's $70 for each additional program. And then it's $15 each program to send transcripts, and then $35 to send GRE scores, depending on each program. So it's very costly, obviously. So make sure that you're budgeting for that before you begin your applications. And then there's also lots of supplemental fees depending on the program. I was like, everyone always said that it was so expensive, but you don't realize it's like actually like 17 million fees other than just this that are just like random everywhere. It's really unfortunate. But the deadline, it opens June 16th this year, so I would definitely get started over the summer. Most programs have deadlines in early October, but some are later, some are earlier. I think I had one school that was due like, I don't know if it was September 1st or October 1st, but it was really early. PTCAS is Eastern time, not Pacific, but you guys should be getting your applications in like 2 to 3 weeks early anyway, so that shouldn't be too much of a worry. Programs might have you submit an application on their school's website in addition to PTCAS. Like for example, Cal State applied for SUSU and Long Beach. And then PTCAS can take 4 to 5 weeks to verify your application after submission. Mine, it took like a week or 2, I think. It really depends, but I think that it says on the website that it could take 4 to 5 weeks, so I would get it in like a month early for sure.
Alrighty, so this is a breakdown of the parts of the application. Sorry. Starting with this is kind of like what PTCAS looks like, so it's separated into personal information, academic history, supporting, and program materials. So this is what personal information looks like. Pretty like straightforward. It's gonna ask you like your name, like addresses, schools, and like where you've gone to, parent information, like kind of see it there. Let's have the breakdown. Academic history. So this is done like there's kind of like 2 parts to it. So you're sending your transcript, but also you're manually entering every single class you've taken.
It takes like forever.
It takes a
2
long
hours.
time because it's literally every single class you've ever taken, not just prereqs. So you literally just pull up your transcript and have PTCAS open and just start copying over everything. So yeah, you're gonna individually add each grade. There is an option for PTCAS to do it, but I don't know if anyone used it. I did. You did?
Yeah, there is a fee attached to it, so be careful with that one. I thought it was easier just because I was, I'm one that overstresses, so if you're somebody like that, it's easy to have somebody do it for you. But yeah, there is an extra fee to it. I can't remember off the top of my head how much it was. Okay,
It's-
35 to 40 bucks.
It's really tedious because you're literally typing in the name of every class, like finding like what type of class it is out of like 200 classes, and then like writing your grade, writing what semester you took it. Like it's very tedious. It's definitely doable. Like we all did it, but I
did it while watching TV.
Yeah, same. Like I was gonna say, I did it while watching like
just takes
Netflix for
time.
like 2 hours. I think
Yeah.
it was worth that.
I didn't have that time over the summer either, so I just did it. Like I paid for them to do it. So if you don't have time this summer or you're like overstressing about it, you can pay for it. But yeah,
It's
extra
definitely a long
fee,
time.
yeah.
I probably should have just paid them.
well, yeah.
Anyway, so part of this category is also standardized tests, which is where you enter your GRE info. So on here, it's just asking for your score, which you'll just literally write like the numbers. Then separately, you'll be officially sending your score reports through PTS, which will be separate.
And I know for a lot of the schools, it was I would just keep like a note of everywhere you've sent your GRE, where you sent your standardized test scores, because on PTCAS they have you like submit both your like academic record and your GRE, but then a lot of schools want you to send it again to their specific school, so you're sending it like a million times and it gets like lost. So keep track of that.
The next section is supporting information. So this is observation hours, experiences, achievements, license and certifications, and then your personal statement. So this is kind of a breakdown of each section. So observation hours, you will be adding each of your observation hours separately. It'll ask you the type of location you worked in and the dates. It'll ask for your PT's info, their email, phone number, and license number, but it's not required. The PT does have to verify what you input, so this takes some time. And make sure you just routinely check that these things have been verified. There is like a separate tab on PTCAS where you'll see that like things have been verified, or skipping forward, like a letter of recommendation has been sent through. So there's a place where you'll see that everything has been sent. If not, send them reminders and tell them, make sure like with everything, not just this, make sure you tell your people that you're using or letter of recs or confirmations that something is due sooner than it is. If your application is due October 1st, I recommend 3 weeks earlier than that, because you want to submit early, so you might as well have them done, so you don't want to be waiting on them. So I just rather, tell them earlier rather than later. So, and then yeah, like Ashley just mentioned, to make this process easier, make a spreadsheet of the places you worked. This is also just useful, so along your years in undergrad, you have them all in one place, that when you're ready for PTCAS, very easy to upload everything and you know where everything is.
Yeah, and I kept it on like Google like Sheets, and I just like every time that I like volunteered anywhere, got hours, I would add date and time, and then I like had it all added up at the very end, and then I had like contact information and like everything that you needed to know. So like I would start working on that now, and just so it's a lot easier to input later.
So the next section is experiences. This is where you're going to input all your employment, extracurriculars, research, and volunteer. This is somewhere where you would put FPTO, any TA experience you had. You need to specify dates and hours dedicated to each. The hours thing is like a little bit random, because like if you're in an organization, it asks you, I think, for like hours per week dedicated. So kind of just guesstimate, like they're not going to look at it and be like, oh, you didn't spend this many hours in FPTO. Like just estimate it based off kind of what you've attended and stuff. And this is going to ask you for a description of each experience. This is where you can explain what you've done if you've been on board of an organization, explain what you did in your roles. And I believe that this one, if you've been on multiple board, like if you've had multiple roles on exec, you do it separately. So if you've been like secretary 1 year and then treasurer another year, do it separately and explain them separately in your text boxes.
And I cannot recommend enough getting a position like on a board or applying for FPTO. I think that everyone who was applying to school this year, we were all extremely successful, and I think FPTO was a big part of that.
I just wanted to add to the experience portion, put everything. Like if you attended one meeting of one club at some point in time, you're not even a member, put it on there. Like put everything all the way back until like high school.
Yeah, I put like dance team captain in high school.
Yeah,
like,
I put down stuff in high school that I had. Like put everything, because obviously, it makes you look better, and they want to see that too.
So achievements, this is where you would include any of your achievements that you've gotten. Mainly, I think the most common one here is Dean's List. But if you have other ones like these example scholarships, honor society, team captains, this is also going to ask for a name, date, and description. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I would recommend just trying not to leave these areas empty. Just think of something like, I'm just going to move on to licenses. Here you might think you really don't have anything, but a lot of us have first aid, CPR, almost everyone took ENS 305. There's this like random certification you get. Don't even remember the name of it right now, but put it on there, because it just shows that like you just don't leave an area empty, because you have it, just add it. If people have done personal training, so yeah, add them here. same thing, like
Yeah, don't
dates and
leave it
such.
empty.
Yeah.
Like if you really can't think of anything,
Or
just
just go
go
get your
pay to get
CPR.
your CPR.
Yeah.
And plus that's, you can get a point for PTO, so
Yeah.
two birds with one stone.
And yeah, the last part of this section is the essays. So you're gonna have a 4,500 character count, and you're given a prompt. It changes every 2 years, but it's pretty much the same thing. They just changed the wording of it. This was the one we just did. So from 2024 to 2025, every applicant is unique in their own way, possessing individual qualities, abilities, and backgrounds. What unique traits will you bring to the physical therapy profession that will help you to be successful? Highly recommend not writing directly in PTCAS.
Yeah.
Just like stressful, and it's really hard to edit. So make a Google Doc, have your prompt at the top, have your character count on, and definitely edit within Google Docs. And then once you're like ready, just copy and paste it into PTCAS. But yeah, I think that's the.
Also, like I finished this like before I came to school. Like I did it over the summer, so that was really helpful for me to like not have to worry about this, because I think everyone can say this probably spent like a majority of your time on the application, like because you have to put so much thought into it. And also I would have people that like you trust like read it. Especially I think it's helpful having someone who's in PT school or a physical therapist read it. I had Gracie, the last resident, read my essay, and she was really helpful because she like goes to SDSU and she helped me with my essay. So if anyone wants their essay read, you can send it to me and I can give you some tips.
Also, the upper division writing class that you have to take instead of the WAR test or whatever, I had my professor read it. She was really, really helpful. My mom read it, a bunch
Yeah.
of people. And I also want to say, I didn't do anything over the summer. I was working too much and traveling, and I just completely forgot about it. And I still got everything done in time. So like, even if you can't do it over the summer, like don't stress, because
Yeah.
you can still do it. Trust me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But I did it.
Okay, so each program has its own sections. So this one is Long Beach's, where they have like supplemental essays, multiple choice questions that are important for each program, and then they have their references and also their prereqs. So just make sure that when you're doing your application, you're filling out these supplemental questions for each school, because oftentimes, I think there was one school that I didn't even realize that they had like separate essays. I don't know which one it was, but
I feel like I didn't know UCS had that.
yeah, but I didn't realize one of the schools had like 2 full essays, and so I would like look through all of the schools that you're applying to, and then also on like this front page where it says like home, it'll say like where you need to like do all the supplemental work as well if it's like separate from PTCAS. So make sure that you're going through all of that. And I think it was UCSF, but I think you had to click like yes or no for a multiple choice question, and then like essays would like pop up. So that's where I like got confused, because I was like, oh, I didn't realize that there was another essay, but it's like with the multiple choice questions came essays. So I would definitely go through that early. And a lot of the times the multiple choice questions are like, are you planning on living on campus or off campus? So they're not like super hard usually, but I would go through it for sure.
Alrighty, so this tab is about your references. So you're gonna have to input your references every time for each school. It's really weird. I don't know why PTCAS can't just apply it, but I think it's because every school has like kind of different rules for what type of references they require. So here you're gonna input, you can see their first, last name, email address, their due date. As I mentioned, make it early, because sometimes they'll still be late and you do not want to be waiting on your letters of rec. I recommend, 3 weeks, a month out before you're planning on submitting. So PTCAS will send the email to your reference. So you can let them know, once you've confirmed with them that they're writing you a reference, like, hey, thank you so much, PTCAS will be sending you a link, and that's where they do everything. You'll then get notified once they have completed it. They do have to if they ask, they do have to do it for every school. They'll upload their letter and they'll answer this like questionnaire about you. I'll show on the next slide, but they do have to do it separately for every school. Choose references that you know well and who you trust, and make sure to ask your reference before you're putting in their information, because if someone's receiving a request that you've inputted them without knowing that they're writing you, it's not a good look. Make sure, talk to them before and ask, that it's okay, and let them know that they'll be reached out to by PTCAS. And this is what I meant by the questionnaire. So this is what your letter or recommendation person is seeing. They'll see this, they rate you on all these skills, and then that is, they'll choose whether they recommend you, highly recommend you, do not recommend you, and then they'll attach your letter. So if your professor or PT is asking, or they have any questions, just be familiar with what they're looking at, because some people who haven't done it before, they might be a little difficult. So yeah, and just make sure you're being like as accommodating for them. Let them know if there's any questions, you know, try to help them out, because I know I had to deal with kind of like guiding my letter of rec people through it, but they appreciate it because, you know, they're writing a letter for you.
And also, it asks you, if you wanna wait to see, like, what they said on their, like, letter of rec, and I would put no for that.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I don't know what the exact question was.
I think it's something like, do you want like permission to like view? And I would just say no, because in the case that your letter of rec person doesn't want you to see it, and you put yes, it might just be uncomfortable. So I think just trust that if you're asking your letter of person for letter of rec, they're writing you a good letter, so you don't really see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Now, applying to SDSU, it's completely different than PTCAS. So basically, it's on Interfolio, not PTCAS. It opens October 1st, and the Cal State Apply is required for SDSU. So it's basically like you have to do PTCAS all over again. You have your personal statement, essay, resume, video statement, prereq, coursework, spreadsheet, experience document, and then reference doc uploaded to Interfolio. I honestly felt like once I got to like October 1st, I was so used to doing all of this from PTCAS that it wasn't too complicated because I already had all those resources from applying to PTCAS. But it's really like frustrating that it's completely like entire different thing from PTCAS.
It's also just kind of a difficult website to navigate. Everything is extremely unclear. So it's unfortunate that it's like a completely different website, but you'll see like there, like you're just uploading documents into different sections, and there's like a checklist on one side. So just try to look through it as much as you can to make sure you're not missing anything, because I feel like sometimes it wouldn't let you know that like something is incomplete or you're missing. So just like go through it thoroughly to make sure you've got everything on there.
And one thing that's nice is that we're all going to SDSU undergrad, so they already have like our transcripts. So it wasn't as complicated with sending over our transcripts to SDSU because we're already at SDSU. So this is on the right is or your guys' left. It's the DPT applicant volunteer and work experience form. So this is where you just filled out like the hours that you've had, whether it be like PT or different settings. And then to your right is the prerequisite and recommended course checklist. So basically you just put all your prereqs in there and then it calculated your GPA at the top. And it was like it was
an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
So both of these forms you like download from their website, and like it's unlike PTCAS where you're doing it within PTCAS. These are separate documents that you're then gonna upload into Interfolio. Once you've like filled them all out, you know, save them as PDF, you're gonna upload them, and that's how they'll see the course breakdown and your experiences.
And I just kept everything in like a folder on my computer, so it's really helpful to like keep all the documents together.
This is the what the recommendation form looks like. If I remember correctly, for SDSU you send your professor or your recommender this form. Is what it looks like, kind of similar to what you saw for PTCAS. They're rating you on different things, and then there's like options because there's different type of people who are gonna write your recommendation, and then you will they'll fill it out and send it back to you.
It wasn't really
I think they
complicated.
upload it. They get a link to upload it, but you send them the PDF itself. Yes, that's how you did it. I think
You send it to them,
yeah,
you also put their email
In there.
on
Interfolio.
Interfolio, yeah.
It's really
Complicated.
Yeah.
For no reason.
for no reason, but just like read the website and follow the steps and ask your future board for help next semester.
Yeah, literally.
Okay, final tips. So I think obviously time management is super important. Planning ahead is key. Like whether you're doing it like over the summer or during the school year, like you're going to have to like set aside a big chunk of time to be able to do it. So if you're less busy over the summer, I would recommend doing it then. But if you feel like you're gonna have more time during the beginning of the semester, and if you don't think that your classes are very challenging, you can like do it then as well. And then set deadlines for yourself, so you can finish your application early. And then reach out to your references as soon as possible to keep in touch with them often. I ask my references like before the applications even opened up, like just after the semester with my teachers, and then I sent them an email like, hey, like I just wanted to confirm you're still okay writing my letter. I'm gonna send you the link right now. Let me know if you got it. And then obviously thank them, and I wrote also like cards for the people that did my letters like after like I was accepted and like updated them. I think that is a good idea, and then hopefully they'll write it for future students as well. And then take the GRE and send your scores early. Definitely like keep in contact with people who are also applying.
One note while we're on the topic of the GRE, so in the Google sheet that I sent you guys, there's a section for you guys to prepare with the GRE codes for each school. When you take the GRE at the very end, there is an option to put in those codes for those schools to send it to the schools for free. I think you get about 4. Yeah, you get about 4 to send it for free. So that's a big opportunity that you don't have to pay the $35 after all of that. The school may ask you to send it again, but just make sure like after the GRE you can have those codes like on a little sticky note, and then you can, put those in. So
Yeah, I know we've kind of shown you guys a lot of information. It's not to overwhelm you, but just to prepare you guys for what you will be going through when you're applying. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. I know I would always bug my co-president from last year who's in school already, asking the most random questions, or maybe if you think they're stupid, but make sure they're not stupid. We all have questions. It's a really complicated process. So please feel free to reach out to us as a lot of us have gone through it. We're more than happy to help you guys. And then, one note about the GRE. I did not have my codes because I was like nervous I wasn't gonna do well. So then after, make sure you know that you have to wait 2 weeks after you get your score to then be able to send your score. So if you didn't do it right after your test, you have to wait 2 weeks. So definitely just plan that out in your timeline, because you have to wait till you get like your official score report, which takes 2 weeks, and then your writing score. So just plan it out so that you're not kind of rushing to get those scores sent to your schools, and they're not like bugging you for them. So just plan it out early in time if you aren't sending them right after the test.
And obviously this was like so much information, and I remember when they did this meeting like last year, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is terrible. Like if you can take away from this meeting like, oh, like I should probably start on like working on like my CPR certification, just jotting down your hours, thinking about who you want your recommendation letters from. Like obviously you're not gonna remember any of this. When I got the application I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But just if you can take away a few things from this and just start thinking about like those little things that you might have not thought about, then that would be more than prepared for the upcoming year. And yeah, let us know if you guys have any questions.
Here are some links if you guys need any of them.
Please text us.
Yeah, please
guys.
text us.
Please feel free to reach out to us.
and then attend in-person grad panel, because that's really important.